create opportunities for our people.
President Jonathan, who joined in welcoming the interim president of Burkina Faso, expressed Nigeria's commitment to support peace and security in the sub-region as he called for a reduction in importation while expanding the revenue base of the sub-region.
As we prepare to mark the 40th anniversary celebration of our community in 2015, we must not forget that beyond politics, the economic development and integration of our region must remain the fundamental objective of our organization.
Apart from message of goodwill from the representative of the UN Secretary General, who commended the efforts and commitments of various governments in containing the outbreak of Ebola, the much-awaited ECOWAS Common Tariff was officially launched at the summit by the President ECOWAS Commission, Kadri Quadrego, as part of efforts to promote regional economic integration and cooperation. The Common External Tariff is to come to force on 1st January 2015. The 46th Ordinary Session is expected to elect its new chairman for 20.
To vulnerable nations. The agreement also restored a promise to poorer countries that a loss and damage scheme would be established to help cope with financial implications of rising temperature. Experts say all these will help make the process in Paris next year, which is very important in creating a climate change regime that will help the world cope with the impact of climate change. From Lima, Peru, venue of the International Climate Change Negotiations, Jennifer Igwe reporting for NTA News.
Back home, the 45th National Council on Information is underway in Abuja. Correspondent Anthony Forson reports that, among other issues on the agenda, the theme, Strategic Information Management for Credible and Peaceful Elections, will dominate deliberations.
Of the people and government of Nigeria through a professional and dynamic public information system that guarantees access by citizens and the global community to credible and timely information about Nigeria, the National Council on Information is the highest decision-making body of information management in the country. And so, with the 2015 general elections fast approaching, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information, Dr. Folashade Yemi-Ason, says information managers must rise above board in the discharge of their duties.
By promoting the message of unity and peace, the onus is on us to explore trending and more effective ways of echoing the principle of non-violence.
In his address to the Council, Director of Research and Planning, Mohammed Umar Lamba, equally called on practitioners to put in place necessary machineries that will eliminate lapses during the elections. Stakeholders are equally in tune with the theme of the gathering.
You're engaging politicians, we should get them to at least commit to more decent language, more civilized language, and how they conduct themselves.
We cannot afford not to do this kind of sensitization, to let people be aware of the importance of a violence and rancorous-free elections.
Because the first thing that gets to the people is not even what the politicians are saying, it is how we transport this message to them. That's why it's very critical that we play this role.
A communique is expected at the end of the meeting. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The menace of prison congestion in the country is said to be responsible for the multiple jailbreaks in recent times in Nigeria. This is the view of the Governing Council of the National Human Rights Commission. Morjanatu Adam Saeed reports.
Eyewitness accounts revealed that there was leakage from the gas plant which exploded and caused the inferno.
When I get to this place, I saw this gas. I now walked down to the fire service. On getting there, I met three guys on ground. Then I told them the situation of the thing. The next thing they told me that there is no vehicle to come to this place, that they are very to cut down Idori, and 3 of them run away.
It took the intervention of members of the Nigerian Red Cross Society to rescue victims of the incidents.
What we are doing right now is to point the fire first, then do assessment of what has caused the fire.
Inspecting the scene of the explosion, the state governor, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, informed that the gas company in May applied for approval to establish the gas plant, which was rejected by the State Ministry of Housing and Urban Development.
To the ministry, by June, the ministry wrote a letter rejecting the approval.
While appealing to residents to follow laid down rules and regulations, the governor promised to compensate families and individuals who lost properties in the incidents.
I want to assure everybody that we will look into the details. The late arrival of the fire truck, the location of this in this vicinity, and everything connected there with what happened yesterday.
The scene of the incidents has been taken over by security operatives to forestall looting of goods. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
That was the story of the gas explosion that occurred in Akure. The governor, Dr. Mimiko, paid a visit and consoled those that were affected. Following the gas explosion which rocked Arokale, of course, that was the story. The 3-day warning strike action embarked upon by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, and the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, is already taking its toll on motorists in Abuja as long queues have appeared at fuel stations. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, who went around the capital city, reports that black marketers are taking advantage of the situation to hike the price of petrol.
Although the few petrol stations attending to customers are selling at regulated price of 97 naira, motorists will have to queue for a very long time to get to the products, while some other stations have shut their doors against buyers.
I heard it that this they have given government 3 days warning strike. I say, wow, that means the person has to get fuel.
Just imagine how every motorist and individuals want to get fuel as soon as possible so that they won't run dry in any case.
Black marketers are, however, making bricks business by selling a 10-litre jerry can of fuel at 2,500 naira as against 1,000 naira.
Okay, it's just so exorbitant. I can't buy 5 litres for 1,500 naira.
For Nura Ismail, a student, this is an opportunity for him to raise funds for his education.
I come to find money to go and pay school fees and buy handouts and provision.
Joel Adeyemo, a taxi driver, said he may have to double his price as it took him a longer period to buy the products despite buying at the control price.
We're supposed to increase and small. The place that is supposed to carry 200, we're supposed to carry at 250. Because of this, our time, we don't waste our time too much.
Motorists, however, urged the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASN, and the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, to come to a roundtable and dialogue, as strike action is not a solution. In Abuja, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Thank you, Adebola. The Federal Road Safety Corps has advocated the modification of Nigerian roads to accommodate the use of bicycle as an alternative means of transportation in the country. The Corps Marshal of the FRSC, Boboye Oyeyemi, said this at the commencement of the second edition of the National Bicycle Week, expected to hold for 5 days in Abuja. Aliu Kabir reports.
In most parts of the advanced world, cycling is one of the means of transportation. In olden days Nigeria, the situation was the same until when the use of motorcycle and other means of transportation became the order of the day. The use of bicycle, which the second edition of the National Bicycle Week is promoting, is aimed at enhancing healthy environment and reduce air pollution.
We're trying to show that the modes of transportation is not limited again to cars and vehicles alone, that the exposed road users to have the right to be on the road. And since the government has keyed into this now, since last year, approving that appropriate design should be made to create lanes for the exposed road users, I think we need to sustain this. So this year's
cycling started from the core headquarters at Zone 3, passes through Bega roundabout to the Federal Ministry of Transport, down to FCDA, and terminated at the corporate headquarters of the Nigerian Television. And the DG of the NTA promised his support to that advocacy.
Here we are always very proactive and factual. We want to know really the risk involved, how FRC has planned to take care of it. So we're going to support you. We're going to make sure that this is well promoted because it's a good adventure. And then, of course, the National Bicycle Riding Campaign, we wish it would be a tremendous success.
And we are appealing to Federal Ministry of Works is that there should be clearly marked out road size.
The central message here, according to the Co-Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, to all Nigerians is ride bicycle to stay alive and live long. From the corporate headquarters of the Nigerian Television Authority, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The need for Nigerians to exhibit the love of God through peaceful coexistence was the focus of this year's service of 9 lessons and Christmas carol organized by the Nigerian Television Authority, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Voice of Nigeria. Correspondent Rotimi Oluwagbimi reports.
So as we light this Christmas tree, it is my prayer that Jesus, the light of the world, will come into our hearts afresh. And I do that in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
With the theme celebrating the Prince of Peace, the guest preacher Dr. Paul Enenche of Dunamis International Gospel Center admonished Nigerians to eschew violence and allow the Prince of Peace to reign in their lives. He also advised everyone not to allow themselves to be used as weapons of disruption by politicians in the forthcoming general elections.
Let's come together in a national prayer and fasting, possibly led by the leadership of our nation, crying out to God, Prince of Peace, intervene in our nation.
The chief host, Shola Omoli, who is the Director General of NTA, expressed his delight over this year's event.
We need peace in our land, and the more that we're all focused on action, the better it will be for all of us as a nation.
Christmas is not about celebration, eating, drinking, and merrymaking. It's about a time for you to review your life.
The theme is very relevant, and my prayer today here is that peace will grant Nigeria peace.
I believe that there will be a turnaround immediately after this carol service.
The event was well attended by Christian faithful within and outside the capital territory, including clergymen.
This is Nta International News, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. For a review of our major stories. The 46th Ordinary Session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS has opened in Abuja. You also heard the 45th National Council on Information is underway in Abuja as well, with strategic information management for credible and peaceful elections in 2015 taking the center stage. Ahead on the news, Plateau State Governor on the need for dialogue by the Boko Haram sect. Plus, life in riverine area South Nigeria. Stay with us for these and more.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The news continues. Consumer Price Index drops in November as inflation rate drops to 7.9%. Plus, experts call for effective monitoring of money taken for working capital. Details with Chiazalam Ikie.
The National Bureau of Statistics has revealed that the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation rate, has fallen for the third consecutive month this year by 0.2% from the 8.1% recorded in the preceding month. The NBS noted that the slow pace was as a result of slower rise in food prices. The increase was also observed in non-durable household goods, garments, transport by road, liquid and solid fuels. In the meantime, banks in Nigeria will have to brace up owing to the current oil downturn. For some financial watchers, most banks who rely on loans as the primary use of their funds will have to ensure that effective monitoring is carried out to recover funds that have been given out to customers.
So the banker the banker of the future in Nigeria doesn't have a seat in the office. He's out there on the field ensuring that the construction is going on, that those people who have taken money from them for working capital are actually using those monies for working capital. And of course, there are a lot of projects to be built in this country, so there's still an opportunity for them. But for now, they're having it very tough.
Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
The news continues. Governor Jonah David Jang has challenged the Boko Haram sect to open up and state their grievances instead of killing innocent souls. The governor gave the challenge when he visited and consoled victims of the recent twin bomb blasts that claimed several lives in the city of Jos. Correspondent Caleb Gochin has more.
The governor was also at the Our Lady of Apostles Hospital, as well as the Bingham University Teaching Hospital, where he sympathized with the victims there.
Whatever their grudges are for the nation, let them say it. This is our nation. And if there are foreigners coming in, the president should declare war and let's go all out to fight the war of terrorism in this country. We should not start keep pretending about it, that it is something else. It's nothing else but this country has been challenged. Our territorial integrity is being violated. Our human lives are being violated. We must fight and get these people out of this country.
32 persons lost their lives in the blast, which authorities confirmed were carried out by 2 female bombers. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
Poverty reduction has remained a challenge in most parts of the world, including Nigeria. While the problem continues to attract the concerns of some individuals and organizations, correspondent Obeglu Walker tells us a story of some communities in Bayelsa State, South Nigeria, where the terrain of the rural areas also militates against the socio-economic life of the people.
Heading into the creeks of southern Niger, Browse and the Keremo, we are trying to find our way to the community in these creeks. And these creeks are bounded by waters, estuaries, and stagnant swamps. That has made it difficult for people to extend humanitarian services to the people in this community.
They are born and bred in these communities. They depend on little business around the sea for survival. Majority of the women population in these areas are dependent on fishing and farming as their main economic activities. But sadly, though, the oil pollutant had an adverse effect on their youths, which led to a decline in the business. Their conveniences and petrol stations are built in the same river where they bathe and wash their clothes. They express dismay over the situation of things in their area.
We are suffering. We go to bush before we come back with hunger. Sometimes we don't even eat. We go.
You can see this is the water we defecate and still use in our daily activity.
reducing the level of poverty have generated concerns among some kind-hearted Nigerians. Modupe Ozolua and her food drive team traveled for 3 hours by speedboats to access the remote and dangerous creeks and Atlantic Ocean of Brass in southern Ijaw local government area.
We will go anywhere that we know people need to be helped, irrespective of challenges and issues we might face. We will do our very best.
The Nigerian Navy provided security for the team to gain smooth access to the area, while the Nigerian Customs Service supported the food program by donating 600 bags of rice, which were distributed to 48 communities. 20 of these communities can only be accessible via water. The medical team treated 2,000 patients within the 5 days visit.
It's been a very revealing experience, very humbling and very touching. It's hard to believe how much people can appreciate the little things of life that some of us take for granted.
Bayelsa is a state in south-south Nigeria in the core Niger Delta region between Delta and River states. They are mostly rural dwellers due to its peculiar terrain and lack of adequate transportation. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
In another development, Nigerians have been urged to embrace love and peace, just like children, especially as the 2015 general elections draw nearer. This appeal was made by the NTA board member Ahmad Agina at the end of year get-together of Beautiful Beginning Academy, Abuja. Chukwuno Somo was there.
Brilliant, bold, and confident. These are the pupils of the academy and indeed the future leaders of Nigeria. Entertaining their parents and guests at the 2014 end-of-the-year get-together of the school. They took their turns in a debate to convince the audience that fresh fruits are better than carbonated drinks.
It has been a great time. I've had the fun I need to have.
It's that time of the year where we celebrate them for having to survive January to date.
It gives me a lot of fulfillment, seeing children being able to remember everything that was taught. I am very happy and fulfilled as a teacher.
Some parents use the occasion to sue for peace and political stability in Nigeria.
My prayer for Nigeria is to have a very successful election come February next year.
If we live in peace and little children will not have problem in Nigeria. So let's learn to live like them. Let's learn to work like them.
Aside their academic prowess, the pupils equally showcase their natural talents in the creative industry. Chukwuno Somo, NTA News.
And with that beautiful story, we'll come to the end of this news telecast. I want to thank you for staying there. Thank you.
It's up to us, all of us. The safety of our communities is in our hands. The police need our help and support. Boko Haram threatens our lives, our future, our country. But Nigeria belongs to us. God has blessed us with this rich land. Let us protect her as we protect each other. Report any criminal activity. Call these numbers. Your call is anonymous, and it is vitally important. Your support so far has been critical. Continuing it will make all the difference between a Nigeria and a Nigeria of the free. Protect each other, for we are not terrorists. We are Nigerians. A message from the State Security Service.
you. Yeah. Thank you. Muhammad and Mecca, Sade, Briye, Allah. We can never repay you, but from our hearts we like to say that we thank you. Our soldiers, our agents, our airmen, our officers. We can never repay you, but from our hearts we like to say that we thank you. We can never repay you for the legs lost. We can never repay you for the arms lost. We can never repay for the lives lost. But from our hearts, from our hearts, well done, Ashe, Ashe, Nagode.